喺香港，願意用公餘嘅時間去幫身體有缺陷嘅人士設計一啲特別儀器嘅，唔單止有 Edward 一個。好似呢個陳帆咁，算係提倡用本身嘅工程知識嚟幫助傷殘人士嘅始創人之一。陳帆係港大工學院嘅畢業生，而家喺政府度做高級電子工程師，主要同政府醫院測試啲電子儀器。喺8年前，陳帆開始義務性質同弱能人士設計輔助工具。好似呢個儀器咁，就係訓練一啲弱智兒童唔好成日擘大個口流口水，等一般人容易接受佢哋。
咁譬如當我係本身係嗰個弱能人士嘅時候咧，我只要將呢個掛喺個嘴唇下邊。咁即係每當我合埋口嘅時候咧，佢就有音樂，或者你可以用玩具啊，或者任何有趣嘅，只要個細路仔佢有反應嘅玩具俾佢咧，咁就可以訓練到佢。合埋口，咁其實佢唔知咩叫合埋口嘅，但係佢知道個動作咧就會有啲公仔會喐啊，或者音樂出。咁因為你任何人你成日擘開口流口水嘅，咁你喺個儀態入邊亦都唔係幾好。咁我相信係所謂幫助或者協助啲弱能人士係投入呢個社會咧大些少啦。咁就可以因應唔同嘅小朋友嘅手咧，可以。
而好似呢一部機，就係利用支筆桿壓落電源嗰度，喐動隻玩具狗，嚟教導一啲弱智兒童學識點樣去揸筆。
咁就基本上係了解咗，因為學生就唔明白點樣叫揸住支筆，點樣叫用力寫落去。其實要求嗰個咧，我諗就係因為弱能人士要求個器材好唔同，針對住每一個個別人士，所謂度身訂做。咁呢個情況就係譬如佢撳咗落去寫字嘅時候咧。咁譬如話用一個公仔做反應，咁其實最主要就唔係訓練佢寫字，係訓練佢寫字嗰個動作嘅啫。咁真正寫字嘅時候咧，就靠聲教。
至於點解咁有興趣做義工呢？佢話可能係自己喺大學時期已經習慣喺課餘參加啲社會服務，好似孤兒院扮鬼扮馬，氹啲小朋友開心咁。另外，陳帆由於喺大學嘅時候識得一啲盲人嘅同學，咁即使係失明，亦都可以好獨立咁由小學升到大學。佢於是同班志同道合嘅朋友搞咗一個工程及醫療義工協會，嚟幫一啲身體有缺陷嘅人士。
將呢個先，係啦，譬如我冇手嘅。
即使一啲傷殘人士好需要某啲輔助儀器，但係遇到設計複雜嘅話，啲義工又係咪咁易做到出嚟呢？
然後咧就升翻你支棍，翹起一半，係啦。
OK。
呢個為啲癱瘓病人食嘢嘅機器係6年前由一個港大教師製造，參加設計比賽得到冠軍。
譬如我冇手嘅，咁變咗我食飯嘅時候咧，就需要用個下巴咧，就按呢度，按呢個掣。咁呢個自動臂咧就會係運作一轉啦，咁就落呢個飯兜裏邊咧，就畢啲飯，或者連埋餸，或者係如果飲湯就飲湯。咁變咗就避免咗係每一餐飯都需要人嚟餵。咁所以其實呢個
Professor Frank Chen Fan is a pioneer in the development of assistive technology in Hong Kong. He is a representative of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region at the National People's Congress and the Vice President of the Hong Kong Institution of Engineers. He has previously served as the Secretary for Transport and Housing, as well as the Chairman of the Hong Kong Housing Authority and the Hong Kong Logistic Development Council. Additionally, he was the Director of Electrical and Mechanical Services and was elected as a representative for the Hong Kong delegation in 2022. While studying at the Hong Kong U, he was inspired by visually impaired peers, which led him to create assistive devices for individuals with disabilities. He co-founded EMV and served as its founding chairman, dedicating himself to integrating engineering technology with medical services, which bring profound contributions to society. Now, let us welcome Professor Chen Fan to have a speech.
Good morning, Professor Sum, Professor Fong, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. First of all, I must apologize for my being late because I got the time wrong. I thought it was 9:30, so I was late, and I thought I was early. So thank you very much for your patience. Please allow me to share with you some of my thoughts this morning. I didn't realize that we got such an innovative podium for me. Anyway, everything we could handle would be most appropriate. So may I share with you back in 1970s, it was a rare sight of people with disability in the street. Think about the contrast nowadays. We will see people on wheelchair, okay, going to places by themselves, or people walking with a guiding stick, and all sorts of people, whether or not they are so-called disabled or abled, right? But in those days, it's a rare sight. Apart from the lack of accessibility, mobility, and technology support, social stigmatization also came into play. It's not just about technology, it's also about the social sentiment. But as time goes by, our society becomes more inclusive. The way we describe people with disabilities have changed. From invalid to handicapped, from disabled to people with disabilities. These changes speak very much for themselves. They change in our society and around the globe. I must say, disability is part of being human. Say, for example, I suffer from myopia. Well, it's just short-sightedness since I was a kid. Without a pair of glasses, I couldn't read clearly, not to mention to do anything serious, which demands acute vision to perform. A pair of glasses, or more correctly, a pair of corrective glasses, means nothing to people with normal eyesight. But for someone who cannot see well without it, it means a lot. My personal experience is nothing but a vivid example how a simple assistive device could help promote equal opportunities for leveling the playing field for individuals with seeing difficulties. So look around. How many of us are wearing a pair of corrective glasses, and how many of us are wearing invisible lens? Right? So it's very simple, and that's assistive device in strict term. And during my university days, and as reported by the video, I started to realize, because I didn't know, I started to come across with these people with disabilities, be it with physical, visual, or other kind of disabilities. And these come from my voluntary work and also with my day-to-day living with fellow hallmates in the university. And I started to appreciate the huge barrier for people with disability to overcome, and for the continual challenge that they have to face over their lifetime in order to lead a normal life. Soon after my graduation, a group of engineering, medicine, and social sciences classmates started to explore what we can do to make a difference. And that's why EMV was started. In those days, the term assistive technology or assistive device didn't exist. Sorry, thank you. So I'm a disabled, I need your help. Well, anybody that needs a help doesn't mean that he or she is a person with disability, right? But nonetheless, it's more welcoming if somebody comes to assistance when there's a need. In those days, the term assistive technology or assistive device didn't exist. Instead, the term rehabilitation aids, technical aids, and computer aids were coined in connection with the technology available at that time. So we are not inventing the terms. We just use the technology at those days to serve. And therefore, simple-minded people like me will just call it technical aids and computer aids, as simple as that. And we designed and fabricated every individual assistive device from scratch. We work daytime to earn our living. You know, we have to earn our living. And spend the evenings and holidays in the workshop. It was tough. It was tough, but rewarding. Assistive technology has indeed come a long way, evolving from simple tools to sophisticated technologies that enhance the quality of life for individuals with disabilities. From canes and crutches to wheelchair, hearing aids, and braille display. In fact, when I was in the university, I built a braille calculator. With the advance of technologies on all fronts, text-to-speech, devices and advanced prosthetics began to emerge. Nowadays, assistive technologies such as smart home devices, wearable technology, and advanced robotics provide support and integration into daily life. Many of us are wearing some kind of watches that tell you how is your heart beating, the blood pressure, the temperature, and what kind of activities that you have been doing, and how many steps you have walked. All these are a kind of assistive technologies. These advancements have significantly improved accessibility and inclusivity, enabling individuals with disabilities to lead more independent and fulfilling lives. Let's imagine and feel from the perspective of the assistive technology users, the sense of freedom and control when you are traveling on a wheelchair on the road, like those who are otherwise homebound. You know, the joy, the gratitude, and the sense of a reborn is very real. And the joys of a mother hearing the cry of her baby first time with the support of a hearing aid. This is something every mother would be expecting forward. But for those who have hearing difficulties or even short of hearing ability, hearing a cry of a baby is a very precious moment. And speak with grace and truth with the machine that enable you to communicate with your loved ones in a way like Stephen Hawking. You know Stephen Hawking? One of the greatest scientists and one of the greatest minds. He can't talk. He can only use his lips, movement, and the blink of his eyes so that the technology will capture the character he want to type and then chose the word he want to speak very quickly and turn into a speaking message. And that's how he communicates with his families and friends and also the media. These innovations are not just about functionality, we have to remember. They were about restoring independence and dignity of the person involved. The evolution of assistive technology is a testament to human compassion and ingenuity. Creativity and innovation have enabled humanity to move step by step towards a more inclusive world, where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. Assistive devices contribute significantly to the lives of individuals with disabilities, as well as to society as a whole. According to the World Health Organization, there is an estimated 1.3 billion people, or 1 in 6 of us on this world, currently experiencing significant disability. So it's a large number of people around us. And more than 2.5 billion people need 1 or more assistive devices. And with an aging global population and a rise in non-communicable diseases, an estimated 3.5 billion people will need assistive technology by 2050. So there's going to be a huge demand and a huge market for us to explore. Without a huge market, and that's why assistive technology is so expensive. And nowadays, when we are talking about an electric wheelchair, it's tens of thousands of dollars. If there was one electric wheelchair that would help the user to stand up, it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. Think about it. How many of us at those days could afford such an assistive device? Very few. And therefore, we need to work on both the demand and also the market. Otherwise, technology will not become affordable and available to those who need it. The global report on assistive technology revealed that there is a large unmet need for assistive technology worldwide and considerable inequity. Inequity, that means not all people are equal in terms of access, in terms of affordability, and in terms of the availability of this kind of technology. Not everywhere. We are fortunate and we are blessed in Hong Kong. Most of us, well, not us, most of the people with disability, if there's a need, there's a way to get it. And considerable inequity in access to assistive technology. And as few as 3% of people in some low-income countries were reported to have access to the assistive technology devices they need, in comparison to 90% in some high-income countries. So Hong Kong must be one of the latter. In 2020, 4 years before us, about 32% of the total population of Hong Kong were people with disabilities. You would be amazed, right? Or requiring long-term medical care, comprising roughly about 534,000 people with restriction in body movement, mental illnesses, mood disorder, seeing, hearing, and communication difficulties. That's the way we talk about disabilities. Previously, we talk about physical disability. The person we call will be physical disabled, visually impaired, right? So the way we talk and treat and work with people with disabilities have changed substantially and fundamentally. And on top of this 500,000 of people, another 77,000 to 90,000 persons are with intellectual disabilities. Plus, more, 1.8 million people requiring long-term medical care. And by 2050, the percentage of people of age 65, including me, and above, is forecasted to reach 36%. So 1 out of 3 persons in Hong Kong would be elderly in strict terms, imposing yet another immense demand for assistive technology. And given the above, there's an imminent need to plan ahead, groom more talents, and build more capacity to ensure the necessary and sufficient assistive device and assistive technology provisions are ready for the years to come. Assistive technology has clear potential to to empower individuals with disability and the elderly to live their lives with independence and dignity. Closer collaboration between the government, the academia, and the welfare sector is instrumental to make the most out of the enhanced home and community care services, the integrated home care services, as well as the Innovation and Technology Fund for application in elderly and rehabilitation care. So there are avenues, and these avenues we have to explore and we have to pursue in order to make assistive technology services in Hong Kong more and better. In closing, please allow me to share with you a few quotes from Mother Teresa. Throughout her entire life, Mother Teresa had dedicated herself of serving the poor and those in need. He has created homes for people in her own terms, feel unwanted, unloved, uncared for throughout society. People that have become a burden of society and are shunned by everyone, she said. Not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love. At the end of life, we will not be judged by how many diplomas we have, how much money we have made, and how many great things we have done. Instead, we will be judged by, I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was homeless, and you took me in. A life not lived for others is not a life, said Mother Teresa. In our pursuit to advance assistive technology, and by the end of the day, the best reward we are looking for is perhaps a remark from those we served that says, I used to be spoon-fed. Now I can eat by myself. I felt ashamed when others cleaned my body, and you gave me the dignity to do it differently. Stand up and walk is what I have dreamed for, and you give me the exoskeleton. The ability for simple tasks are often taken for granted for most people. But for those who are unable to do it themselves, your enabling support and caring touch means everything to them. I salute you all. Thank you.